Elaris didn't knock. She stood outside Kael's door for a moment, her heart racing, her hand hovering in the air. She could feel it, that fear creeping in. The fear that maybe this time, she had gone too far. But she pushed it down, because walking away had already cost her too much. Slowly, she opened the door. Kael looked up immediately. His expression changed the second he saw her. Shock, then something colder. Something distant. "What are you doing here?" he asked. His voice wasn't loud, but it hurt more than if it was. Elaris stepped inside, closing the door behind her. "I came to talk," she said softly. Kael let out a short laugh, shaking his head. "Talk? Now you want to talk?" Elaris swallowed. "I know what I did." Kael stood up. "You don't just walk into my house like nothing happened, Elaris." "I'm not acting like nothing happened," she said quickly. "I know I hurt you." Kael's eyes hardened. "You didn't just hurt me," he said. "You replaced me." That hit her. Hard. But this time, she didn't look away. "I thought I wanted something else," she said quietly. "I thought I could move on." She took a small step closer. "But I couldn't." Kael scoffed. "So now I'm your backup plan." "No," she said immediately. "You were never that." The room went quiet. The distance between them felt smaller now, but heavier. "I'm not doing this again," Kael muttered, turning slightly. Before he could move, Elaris reached out and grabbed his wrist. He froze. "Kael, please," she whispered. "Just listen to me." For a second, he didn't pull away, and that small moment gave her hope. "I miss you," she said. Kael's jaw tightened. "You missed me when you were with him." Elaris didn't answer, and that silence said everything. Kael pulled his hand away, but she didn't stop. She stepped in front of him, blocking his path. "I'm not leaving," she said. "You don't get to decide that." "I already did," she replied, her voice shaking. "I'm done running from this." Kael stared at her. He could see it. The difference. The way she looked at him now. But it didn't erase the past. "You should go," he said quietly. Elaris shook her head. "No, I'm not leaving until you hear me out." Kael exhaled deeply, running his hand through his hair. "Fine," he said. "Talk." Elaris took a breath. "I made a mistake," she began. "I thought I wanted something better, something easier." Her voice cracked slightly, but it wasn't real. Kael stayed silent. "I kept comparing everything to you," she continued. "Every moment, every conversation, it wasn't you." He looked at her again. Really looked this time. "And I realized something," she said softly. "I didn't lose you because I stopped loving you." She paused. "I lost you because I didn't understand how much I loved you." The words lingered in the air. Kael didn't speak right away, because part of him believed her. "So what now?" he asked. Elaris stepped closer. "Now I fight for you." Kael let out a breath. "You're late," he said. "I know. You broke something." "I know. And I don't know if it can be fixed." Her eyes filled with tears. "Then let me try." Silence again. Heavy. Uncomfortable. Real. Kael turned away, pacing slightly. He was thinking. Fighting himself. Finally, he stopped. "I can't just take you back," he said. Elaris nodded. "I'm not asking you to." That made him pause. "I'm asking for a chance," she said. "Just don't shut me out." Kael hesitated. "I need time," he said. Elaris's heart tightened. "But I'll think about it." That was enough. More than enough. "Okay," she said quickly. "Take your time." Kael looked at her one last time. "You should go." This time, she listened. She walked to the door. But before leaving, she turned back. "I'm not giving up on you." And then she left. The next day at school, Kael thought that was the end of it. He was wrong. "Kael." He froze. That voice again. He turned slowly. Elaris stood behind him, like nothing had changed. "Morning," she said softly. He stared at her. "You followed me just to say that?" "Yes." Kael shook his head. "You're unbelievable." "I know," she said, smiling slightly. "You liked that about me." He didn't respond, but he didn't walk away either. At lunch, she sat across from him. Without asking, "Elaris." "I'll be quiet," she said quickly. She lasted 5 minutes. Then, "So, what are you thinking about?" Kael sighed. "You." She blinked. "Wait, really?" "No," he said flatly. "I was thinking about how you don't listen." She smiled anyway. In class, she found a seat near him. Not too close, but close enough. Every now and then, she would glance at him. And every time she did, Kael noticed, even when he pretended not to. After school, she followed him. Not in an annoying way. Just there. Constant. Quiet. Present. Finally, Kael stopped walking. "Why are you doing this?" he asked. Elaris nearly bumped into him. "Doing what?" "This," he said. "Following me. Acting like everything matters again." Elaris looked at him. "I'm not acting," she said softly. "It does matter." Kael frowned. "You said you needed time," she continued. "So I'm giving you time." She took a small step closer. "But I'm not disappearing." Kael didn't reply, because he didn't know what to say. Days passed, and she didn't stop. Not once. She didn't push too hard, didn't cross the line, but she stayed, close enough that he couldn't ignore her. And slowly, something started to change. One evening, they walked home together, side by side, in silence. But it wasn't uncomfortable. It was familiar. "You're still here," Kael said. Elaris looked at him. "I told you I would be." Most people would have given up. "I'm not most people." Kael let out a small laugh. And that moment, it meant more than he expected. They stopped in front of his house, the same place where everything changed. But this time, it didn't feel as heavy. "You're stubborn," Kael said. "I know." "And annoying." "I know." "And you don't listen." She smiled. "I know." Kael shook his head, but there was something softer in his eyes now. "I'm still thinking," he said. Elaris nodded. "I'll wait." Kael opened the door, but before going in, he paused. "Don't make me regret it." Elaris smiled softly. "I won't." That night, Elaris lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. For the first time in a long time, she smiled, because she knew something Kael didn't want to admit yet. He hadn't let her go. Not completely. And that was enough. For now. But somewhere, not too far away, someone else was watching. Watching them get closer again. Watching Elaris try to fix what she broke. And that someone wasn't going to let it happen. Not without a fight. End hook. Because just when Elaris thought she was finally getting him back, someone new was about to step in. And this time, she might not be the only one fighting for Kael.